All right. So back to the Lakers, the game yesterday. Play tomorrow, by the way. AD, he just had to contribute. Like, if he contributed, LeBron played well yesterday, too. LeBron had, what was his stat line here? Yeah, 23, 4, and 9. That's a good stat line. But I think if AD had this game in game one, they probably would have won. Like, even if LeBron still had his subpar performance, they would have won. And I think I said yesterday, I'm more concerned about the Suns because they only won by 9 with LeBron and AD playing like crap. So, I don't know. And I think it comes down really to a supporting cast. I literally just used an example. PG and Kawhi had 41. PG had 28 and 12. They played very well, those two. But they lost because they only had one role player score over 10. It's going to come down to role players, and LeBron and AD, you can't just rely on them. They're great players, but you can't just be them because, let's look at other performances yesterday. Drummond had 15 and 12. Schroeder had 24. And this is another example. A role player was the second leading scorer. Like Joe Harris only had one less point than KD. And Schroeder only had, he had one more point than LeBron, So Schroeder and Drummond performed very well. And the other role players just had to pour on a couple points. That's all they had to do. So it's going to come down to a supporting cast. And see what happens there. So here's someone who doesn't need a supporting cast on the field, but a supporting cast off. Like, in the front office. So LaFleur kind of reacted to what Rodgers had to say on a podcast a couple days ago. And he just said basically, he hopes to have. This is what you have to say. He hopes to get Rodgers back soon. Because you don't know what's going on in his head right now. Because he's in Hawaii with his fiance, and a couple other guys. And he's doing a golfing match against Brady and Mickelson on July 6th. So you don't know what's going on in his head right now. So he can say whatever he wants, but you gotta say that. You gotta say, yeah, I hope to get him back, I don't think Rodgers is going to throw all he has. Like, he mentioned it literally on the podcast, how grateful he is for what he has. I wouldn't throw that away for just Brian Gutekunst, for one guy, Brian Gutekunst, who didn't want to give me a call when he drafted Jordan Love. I wouldn't throw all that away. Because I think Rodgers likes all his teammates. I always thought he liked all his teammates. I just thought, the problem with him being difficult is he just got a little frustrated. And I think over the years he's become a much better leader. Because when you look at those reports from Greg Jennings and Jermichael Finley, they played with the young Aaron Rodgers. They didn't play with the older, more mature one. So I'm sure in his younger days he was difficult, But I think he's grown up a bit, and I know some people still view him as kind of a baby. For what he's doing right now. But, like I said, I would not throw all this, I think he likes Davante Adams, likes Robert Tonyan, likes Aaron Jones, he likes the offensive line. I think he likes all these guys that he has, and I think he likes Matt LaFleur a lot. I think he likes his teammates, he likes Matt LaFleur. I think he likes Jordan Love, I really do. I wouldn't throw all that away for Brian Gutekunst, like for just one jerk that didn't call you on draft night. And I really think they could easily. I've said this. They can easily solve it. Restructure the man's deal. At least pursue Julio Jones. I don't think you're going to get him, but at least try to pursue him. I think there's other teams that are going to have a much better shot at Julio Jones. I think the Colts have a good shot. They can use number one for Carson Wentz. Pats could use number one for Cam Newton right now. Raiders could use a receiver desperately. Niners could use a receiver, I guess. Especially Julio Jones, who has worked in Shanahan's system before. Ravens could use one. They do have Sammy Watkins and Rashad Bateman, but that didn't save their franchise, really. I think the football team can use them because, and I know they have Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, but they don't have a quarterback. So, I mean, if you can just stack up with Julio Jones, with Ryan Fitzpatrick, that could work. Eagles could use him. Kind of do what the Dolphins are doing with Tua. You can try to find out right away, is this guy actually good? If you can stack him up with Julio Jones, Jalen Reagor had a pretty good year last year, and Devontae Smith, you're kind of stacking him up with some good talent. The Bears are an option because I don't know if they're ever going to solve their quarterback. So I guess you could just stack up receivers while you're at it. And I think the Packers could use them. They could use number two. They don't need one, but they can use one. And it could possibly, I don't think it's going to right away, immediately affect, Aaron Rodgers, oh my gosh, you got me Julio Jones. I'm going right back. That makes up for not telling me about firing a quarterback coach, not telling me with the draft pick, and really not listening to me over the years. I think they have to do a little more than that. I think they should restructure it and do that. I think that will, solve it all. But, there's a lot of other competing teams. And, I think, what's their face is the Titans are a good landing spot for him. They did lose Corey Davis. A.J. Brown's good, but Tannehill isn't like Aaron Rodgers, who just needs one weapon. So, they're going to have a lot of competition for Julio Jones, but I think if they pursue him, if they openly pursue him, it'll be fine. I genuinely think it's going to be fine. I really do. Because, like I just said, I don't think he's going to throw all that away just for one jerk in the front office. So, really, the reason this Julio Jones is so big is because on Monday, Shannon Sharpe decided to call Julio Jones. And it kind of created this thing for him because he was like, I'm out of here, man. And, sorry for the pause there. He just, he called, I really feel like you should have told him he was on air, because you're making him give away information he might not want to. He might not want to give away that information right now. But you kind of just made him, with that. it's it could have been smarter. I mean, there was like. I don't know. There is no reason for that. I mean, like the way other analysts do it, where they just have an athlete on the show and ask him questions. And, Russell Wilson on the Dan Patrick show, that was straight up. That was his decision. Julio Jones isn't making that decision on his own. He's not just saying, he's not straight coming out and saying, oh, I want out, And Wilson didn't even say that. He was like, I'm getting hit too much, really. That's what he said. And, but, there wasn't any, prank call or anything. It was just straight up. Dan Patrick asked him, and he was like, yeah, I'm getting hit too much. I'm a little frustrated. All right. So we've had blank or the field discussions before. Gonzaga or the field. I, the genius I am, picked the field. And now we got Nets or the field. I'm gonna pick the field. Let's see how this one works out. I really think I think it's the field. I really do, cause I think, cause they're probably, cause if they played Miami next round, they would have a chance. They would. I mean, they have a chance against any team because they have KD, Kyrie, and Harden. But it looks like they're gonna play the Bucks right now. And they got Giannis. And the Nets have no interior defense. They have no defense whatsoever. So, I mean, I think all but one team in the past 30 years, every champion in the last 30 years, has had a top 10 defense, except for, I think, the 0-1 Lakers. You normally need a top 10 defense, and I'm not. It's I don't know. It's really confusing because their offense, honestly, could just be so good that their defense is irrelevant. But, I don't know. I'm going the field. I just don't think they can beat the Bucks, or if they beat the Bucks, I don't think they can beat the Sixers. I really don't. Alright, so we got 2 more topics left. NBA playoffs continue tonight. The Lakers need AD to have a back-to-back good games. Clippers need an answer for Luka. Jokic and the Blazers are going at it right now. The Jazz look to bounce back after a terrible Game 1 loss. The Knicks look to tie it up. Heat need an answer for the Bucks. The Nets look to take a 3-0 lead against the Sixers. Against the Celtics. And the Sixers look to take a 2-0 lead over the Wizards tonight. Alright, so that's the recap for the playoffs right now. And finally, my final topic is going to be... This was about a 30-minute podcast. I'll take that. So Rodgers is doing a golf thing against Brady and Mickelson. I really feel like Rodgers is doing everything he can to not go anywhere near the Packers Stadium right now. Jeopardy, Hawaii, golf, anything to not be with the Packers right now. I don't know if that's a hint or not, that he, because it's, the Packers are going to control, because the Packers are in control right now of what, they have the leverage to not trade him right now, because it's in their hands.